Well, it's not hard to spot them. They're not native to Florida, but they seem to be everywhere. More and more of them each year. We're talking about an invasion of iguanas, which is killing native animals and eating up native plants. Photojournalist Pedro Cancio takes us on a revealing tour.
Well, iguanas, 10, 20 years ago were slowly introduced into South Florida. And because this climate is so similar to the natural climate they're found in, from the tropics of Mexico all the way down into Central South America, they have actually exploded in population. These animals have become so prolific that they are now commonly found anywhere throughout South Florida, to the point where they're actually becoming destructive.
We are one big salad bowl for iguanas. Fairchild Tropical Botanic Garden is a public garden dedicated to conservation and education with a focus on tropical plants. And one species, there are less than 20 plants left in the wild. Now that is as close to extinction as you want to get. And we're propagating that species here. But we can't plant it out in the gardens because the iguanas will eat it. So we're having to keep the stock away from public display and locked up in our greenhouses where we can protect some of the more vulnerable plants against iguanas.
People just have them as pets and then they release them. How many in here, iguanas? Oh, in the thousands. The problem is that they eat everything in sight. Because it's very expensive to put these trees in, and then you see that an iguana just sat on the tree and just eaten it all.
What do you do to manage the situation?
There are a licensed, from the state of Florida, licensed catcher that comes in and removes the small ones and everything else, so it stops the population.
What we're doing tonight is we're going to try and locate as many invasive species of reptiles and amphibians.
That's 2 so far.
And this is a juvenile iguana. If we've got him that close, pull him down and put him in the bucket. We try to do that with as much caution without hurting the animal as possible. And they're just extremely gorgeous specimens. Now that, my friend, is a 20-pounder plus. All right, this is a large male green iguana, and I'm 5'11". His tail's on the ground bent, and you can see he's up to my head.
People go to the pet store and they see that cute little iguana, like the ones we pulled out of the trees earlier, the babies.
Take a second look.
Take a second look, because this is what they turn into right here. And if you don't want to keep this, and you don't want to house this, and you don't want to take care of this for the rest of its life, which could be very lengthy, don't get them.
Piece of advice there. Beautiful animal. Well, the wildlife removal team, that we just saw there working, they don't kill those iguanas once they capture them, and that's the good news. They sell them to zoos and breeders outside the state and country. And here's something else to remember. Releasing non-indigenous animals such as those iguanas into the wild, it's a crime, a first-degree misdemeanor, so don't do it.
I'll tell you, I didn't know they grew to 6 feet. You do?
They're gorgeous, but
they are,
so destructive.
They eat up the world there, huh?
South Florida is such an interesting place, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Well, there is much more ahead right here on the NBC6 News.
Jackie and Tony here with the news at 6. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night. Well, this next one is going to warm your heart. There is a place here in South Florida that has been helping the handicapped for more than 20 years in our community. We're talking about SHOT communities, and this program offers various programs to help the handicapped express themselves, and they're doing it in some pretty amazing ways. Photojournalist Pedro Cancio has the story.
Do you have an idea as to something you want to paint?
It makes me feel fulfilled and free.
Essentially, the art program has members who are victims of cerebral palsy. That has limited them physically. They're, I think, considered somewhat trapped in their bodies.
You like this color?
Through my paintings, I create a different world. A type of world that maybe someday I'd like to have.
Shot Communities is a program that has existed in this community for over 20 years. We have a number of programs. We offer counseling services, we offer in-house programs for arts and crafts, and we also have a wonderful arts program that's aimed more at the fine arts.
It gives me something to do and gives me some sort of purpose in my life.
You know, any little help that you can give them, they like.
Okay. See, you already painted. But some of them can't use their hands. So some of them use their mouth, others use their foot, and others are very, you know, they use their hand, but they need guidance because some of them tremble.
I hold it so hard.
Just watching the effort it would take for someone to do what they do, I think made me realize that I have little to complain about.
The picture is not always what it comes out to be on the canvas, so you have to like be able to accept that. And if you don't like it, you have to change it. So.
You don't get discouraged.
No, I don't.
Some very talented folks out there. Now, this painting program relies on volunteers, so if you have any artistic ability and you'd like to help out, Shot Communities wants to hear from you. You can contact the organization at 954-434-3306. Once again, 954-434-3306. And we will be right back.